So taking over a club halfway through a season is bloody tricky. It's tricky. You've got to get to know the players fast. Who's been playing? Who should have been playing? It's very, very tricky. Welcome back to Stingerman, and as you can see, we are currently unemployed. What happened? I decided to leave FAF after that successful season. I didn't feel like there was anything else to prove. Portugal, arrogantly I thought, someone will snap me up. Nobody has. There is a huge lack of jobs at the minute. There's no club jobs available, and I'm now into the 6th of September. So if a job does come up, we're going to have absolutely no time to sort it out or get players in. We're going to have to work with what we've got. In a way, I think I deserve this for just walking out on FAF. Probably should have waited and got another job or gone for a second season with them. But here we are. It's October now. October. Well, it's the 2nd of November 2025. We've been jobless now for about 4 months. We've just been offered a job. We've just accepted it. Here's where we're going. That's right. We have made our way to Germany and the Free Liga, and we're now in charge of Sportfreund Lotte. And yes, I'm going to have to go to Google and see if I'm saying that right.
Sportfreund Lotte.
Sportfreund Lotte.
Sportfreund Lotte.
Sportfreund Lotte. So I think we'll just go with a Lotte. So we're now in charge of a Lotte in the 3rd division of Germany. We take over after 16 games. It's not a disaster. They are lying in 12th, 5 points above the relegation zone, and about 8 points off a playoff. We need to have a look at the rules, how the league works. Do we have any affiliates for a start? Let's have a look. So affiliated clubs? No affiliated clubs. Okay. So scouting wise, transfer budget, we're in 60,000 in deficit, so we won't be signing anyone. The wage budget is already in the mire. So we won't be signing anyone who's going to cost anything. That's the first thing. So here's the league table, as you can see. Lotte 12, played 16, won 6, drawn 2, lost 8, goal difference 0. Let's have a look, a bit more detail there. So they scored 23 and conceded 23. Not too bad. Schedule wise, whoa. So you can see why the fella got sacked, can't you? They actually started off really well. First 4 games, they won 3, drew 1, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 defeats on the bounce, a draw, then another 1, 2, 3 defeats on the bounce. The caretaker manager's actually done a pretty good job, so that's a bit worrying. We're following a good caretaker manager, but you can see the problems lied there. Squad wise, as you can imagine, because of that wage deficit, it looks like a pretty big squad. Haven't had a good look through it yet, but we're about to. So here's the league. 1st and 2nd get up to the Bundesliga 2, and the 3rd is a Bundesliga playoff with presumably the lower team in the Bundesliga 2 and whoever finishes 3rd. So that's the long-term target, not this season, but next season. So taking over a club halfway through a season is bloody tricky. It's tricky. You've got to get to know the players fast. Who's been playing? Who should have been playing? It's very, very tricky. Let's have a look at the appearances here. So if we go up to appearances, and we can basically see who's been playing the games this season. Top of the list was this fella, Emre Aydınel. He looks like their striker, possibly could be a shadow striker for us if we keep that Claymore system. His record this season, 6 and 16, not bad. Let's have a look at his history. So last season he scored 16 in 35, season before that 12 in 36, and he's come from Dortmund, so he's from good stock, so he could be a player. Well, he will be a player we build our team around. He's either going to be the main striker there, but he's not electrically fast, so I'm more inclined to think he could be the shadow striker. Goalkeeper looks solid enough, 24 years old, he's conceded 23, but again, he comes from good stock because his former club before joining Lotte was Bayern Munich, so he looks like a decent keeper. 21-year-old centre-half, Nicholas Engels. Again, looks decent. It's definitely a step up from what I'm used to working with. Heading 15, marking 14, positioning's good, bravery's good. Looks like a really good centre-back, only 21 years old. This lad's been given a star player contract, and you can see he looks damn good. He's 23 years old. He wants to play up front. The game and the managers and the assistant managers consider him more of a winger. Let's have a look. False 9, the same. First touch, finishing really good. Pace, acceleration. To me, he looks like he could be our striker. Leonard Sibdrat, again, another centre-half. Left-footed and right-footed, can play either. Could possibly cover at left-back if I need him to, but it looks like the centre-back partnership is solid. I might have fell into the ideal club here because this lad, Sinan Buyok Sakara, let's call him Sinan, he's a right-back, but he's two-footed. He could comfortably play that inverted wing-back role we used with Faf. I'm thinking I could probably use the same system here. Again, Diego Montero de Oliveira, on loan from Kaiserslautern, passing 15, vision 15, teamwork. He looks like an ideal defensive DLP. Kwabe Schultz looks like my left wing back on defence duty. Okay crossing, nothing special, but he's got pace, he can tackle. Decent. So those are the top players, and the rest of the squad looks to be padded out with a load of youngsters, all 17, 18 years old. So that's maybe where they've been getting in a bit of stress. The depth isn't there, but if we can keep the first 11 fit, just looking through it, decent backup. If we can keep the first 11 fit, we may have a chance here. Okay, so we cobbled the team together. A lot of them work really well in the team. I've got a bit of a weakness down the left, which I'll try and address, but whether we can do that or not, we are in the 2nd of November, so we may have to wait till January and try and do a bit of wheeling and dealing. I would love a couple of my players from FAF. I think they do a job here, such as Remy in that shadow striker role, such as Nadje, the striker, and such as Sanchez, the winger, but I don't think they'll be gettable with no budget. Now, training-wise, they're going to have to learn a new tactic, so I've gone to early season training tactical familiarity. That's a post-net tactic of training that he put together that is absolutely mint. Look that up. And after that, we'll probably do two weeks of that, so a couple of early season, just to get them used to the way we want them to play. And then we're going to hit up a balanced training to cover all aspects to try and get them up to pace, especially when we've got Bayern's second team, who are top of the league, coming up soon. That's the new boys then. That's how to get into a club that's halfway through a season. Actions speak louder than words, though. Let's play 3 or 4 games and let's see where we go. We're 12th at the table at the minute. Let's play up to 20 and we'll see where we're at. So, in true Davidson form, I didn't play 5 games. I ended up playing nearly 20. So we've steadied the ship to a degree. We took over just before the winter break, which was around here, the Dresden game. Managed to beat Bayern's second team 2-1, and they're the best team in the league by a mile. Then we went on a random 4-game defeating streak, and then the break. So the 3-week break allowed us to sort things out a bit, and we've been on a decent run since then. We've only lost twice since the break, and now we're into April. So things are looking okay. League table wise, we are sat in 10th place, so we've made a little bit of progress from 12th. Nothing crazy, nothing that good. I've had to change my tactic because obviously we couldn't get any players in. So this is basically our rebuild season that we'd like to do. Next season we're going to go for it. But let me show you this tactic that I've come up with that's got us to 10th. And it's beautifully unbeautiful. There it is. Ugly, but does the job. It's been doing the job. I wanted to experiment because we joined the club halfway through the season. So as soon as I got them safe, I wanted to try something. So we're trying this asymmetric thing and putting players where I want them to be on the pitch, watching games in 2D, and as it plays out, it doesn't look like that on screen in 2D. It looks more like a traditional 3 at the back system, but we're just asking certain players to be more advanced than others, such as the winger Shaw and such as the shadow striker Emre, and it works okay. The results have been okay, and the reason I've done this is because I didn't have a left-sided midfielder that I could rely on, no one good enough, so I only had this poor lad Schultz, Kwabe Schultz. He had to do all the legwork down the left-hand side, so I had to come up with a system that we could give him a bit more protection, so he didn't have to cover all of it himself. We've got a bit of the shadow striker going wide. We've got a bit from Fritsch coming in there as well. So we've got one player on the left, but because we've got this fella Emre with the stay wider player instruction. It means he's going to be popping in and out of there as well. So it's a fluid system, and it's done the job. It's been more workmanlike than anything, and in the league, it's got us to 10th, which we're happy about. So our record's been a bit hit and miss. You can see here, this is the record since we took over. So games played 17, won 6, drawn 5 and lost 6. Now 4 of those 6 were in the first month that we joined, so we've turned it around pretty well. Conceding far too many goals, 30 goals conceded, 25 goals for. This won't be the formation we go with next season. It's just to get us through this season, because our debts have been crippling us. And if you look at my profile now, you'll see what it's done to my rep as well. So there's my rep. Everything's building in the right way. Reputation's up there now. Media handling, hands-on approach, it's all good. But then you look at that horrible line there, and it's 1%. Finances are 1%. And that's despite us coming in, bringing in nobody. We've brought in a couple of loans, and that's it. We've actually sold players. All these players here I've sold to get them off the wage bill. And we've brought the wage bill back. So we're about 8 grand over. So I'm trying my hardest, but it's not good enough for these guys at the minute. Now, as I mentioned, I'm watching a bit in 2D Classic to see where the players lining up. So if you think of that tactic formation, how ugly it looked, and players looked like they were all over the place, it's not so in reality. So we've got our 3 centre-backs there, and there's the left wing-back, and there's the inverted wing-back. So you can see they do drop into a traditional 5 at the back, and in front of them, you've got your 3 midfielders and your shadow striker dropping deep. All it is on the attack side of things, the players will go into those positions you saw on the tactic screen. So this is us attacking. You can see the difference compared to the defensive layout. So you've got your 3 defenders across there, no problems there. And there's the inverted wing back, so he's sitting nice and narrow. On the other side, right up here is Schultz, that's a left wing back. So you can see the difference in roles between the 2 wing backs for a start. You've got your 2 midfielders there, the deep line playmaker and the central midfielder. And there's your 3 more advanced players, your shadow striker, the main focal point, your striker, and your really advanced wide midfielder. So that shows the difference. When you're defending in an asymmetric formation, they tend to get back in the line that they should be. And when they're attacking, that's when they go into those positions that you've set them. So I've got about 5 games left of the season. We're not going down, we're not going to go up or anything like that. The goal is to try and finish in the top 10. Then I'm going to go into pre-season, and then I'm going to try and wheel and deal Harry Redknapp style and plan for a formation that I want to play next season. When we go for it, we go for top 6. So we'll come back either in pre-season or as the start of next season, and we'll see where we get to, because we're flying now in this Journeyman series now. This is Club 4. Lotte. I've already forgot the pronunciation. This is Club 4, and we'll see what happens next season. Thanks for the support so far. You've all been mint.